Today's market, go over today's plays, talk about what to expect next week as we come into the full swing of earnings season. So I hope you're excited and ready for what I expect to be a pretty busy earnings season. Let's get started. Good afternoon. This is Ifan from the Strategic Day Trader, and this is your market wrap for January 22nd, 2021. Q is going to finish up here down 0.29 and SPY 0.37. Market really wasn't a factor too much today. A little bit of a gap down and then stayed pretty sideways throughout the day on the Qs and SPY. Okay, doesn't really change anything for us going into Monday. We could get a little bit of a pullback here. Hourly, you can see is still above the 20 MA, still holding up here. Could get a little bit of a pullback, but weekly, monthly, everything's still in an uptrend, right? So that would be a pullback maybe for a couple of days back to the previous high, and then we'll get another buy setup as we've gotten off of the 20 MA, and so the expectation should be that we'll bounce from there. Okay, so still going to be bullish going into Monday. But with earnings season for a lot of the big names coming up over the next couple weeks, really is going to be the peak. We can definitely see a little bit more volatility, and that'll make things a little bit more exciting. Like today, IBM I thought was the best gap down, and really the best entry here right off the open. You had a 2-minute high-low or a 1-minute kind of immediate breakdown, came up pretty fast. Even though this was my favorite gap down, I kind of wasn't ready for it. Been doing a lot of scanning at the open, and so when I noticed this, and I noticed it was staying weak, and this initially was a kind of a decent sized red bar. Wanted to see some kind of reaction. You do get it on the one, where you get this inside bar here, so it puts in a bottoming tail and bounces up a bit. But there it is. So you only had a couple minutes really to get ready for this. This breakdown down here is fine too. Okay. So, what that tells us is that, things are reacting. Good gaps are following through. Stayed pretty weak there. The INTC also pretty good gap down. Look at the shock value. Yesterday at the end of the day, I guess the earnings leaked, but then today gap down. So, that bodes really well. Even if you didn't catch these, it bodes well for next week. The potential for these plays. So especially if some of the bigger names start to get we get more gap downs. Right, definitely could change the bias in the market, could change the chart significantly. So, we'll be on the lookout for that. But it's definitely starting to feel like, earnings season and things are really picking up. Couple plays today. Start off with the NAOV, right? And so the NAOV was a breakout here over the highs. Did give about an R there, but on something like this where it's low priced, it's transitioning on the daily, I'm really looking for bigger targets. So I wasn't able to make anything on the NAOV. It only got to 177, I think was the top there. Yeah, 177, came back and trailed. Wasn't able to make anything on this, but then AZRX, very similar, has already transitioned on the weekly, however, right, daily. Yesterday was a decent move up. This one got a pullback and then gave us the 2-minute base, right? There's the pullback. Then the 2-minute base was pretty good. So the follow through was good on this. There's also a chance here for a base breakout over the top there. Pretty nice follow through there. So, it is something that we have to divide our attention a little bit, because this has really been what I've been playing the last couple months. A lot of these lower price things that are showing a lot of volume on the day, that they're either gapping or showing a lot of relative strength. Here it is on the daily. Obviously, kind of a big move, big volume day. And see, the same thing on the NAOV, even though the NAOV didn't work as well as I wanted to, it's got the right look there. And so what I am looking for is more retracement into the top of this topping tail. And so I think that's the thing that's going to need to be balanced the next couple weeks is especially if these things are still doing this, it's going to be still a lot of opportunity to play these. So, it's going to be a challenge, I think, to kind of divide our attention between both. I think, if you're in the room that really helps, right? Because we're finding these, we're mentioning them before they trigger, and as they set up. And we also noticed this week that the SPACs are also really, really moving. And so I gave you guys this idea. Decided to let this one go, and because these SPACs can get a little bit wild, but when they work, they really, really work. And then you see, even after this initial move, put in another base and then took off again. So, there is a lot of stuff out there, and I think the challenge, especially as we get into earnings season, is going to be, what to focus on. And, it will let kind of each day kind of inform us what is falling through the best. I was kind of curious if we would still see a lot of these kind of moves as more attention is paid to a lot of the companies that are reporting. So that'll remain to be seen. But the good thing is, if it's an issue of what do we focus on, because there's so much to do, then that means that you can stay busy, that there's trades to take, right? And that's the way it should be during earnings season, right? I think the interesting thing is that what we got into the end of last year is carrying over into this earnings season. So we'll kind of see if how much further it continues for these lower price, smaller cap names. Okay. All right. Hope you did well today. Hope you did well this week. We'll be back at it on Monday. Have a great weekend, and I will talk to you Monday afternoon.